great pass. What a catch!
My goodness.
What an amazing catch from Vicky McFarlane.
Highlight reel. Never say yes to the jest. That was fantastic. Sarah Tonkin making a push for home. Misses 400 herself. 13 strikeouts for Gabby Snyder and one of the best pitching performances we've seen this season. What a fantastic grab by Emma Burridge. He climbs the ladder and brings it down. Atkins grounds this up the middle. That's going to score a run. Bruin score two. Deep to left field. This is back, and this one is gone. It's magic from Maslin.
Well, entering the second half of the season, the playoff picture is looking clear by the day about who will be in it, but the top four positioning is anything but in one of the closest seasons near the top of the table we've seen yet. 4 teams within 2 points. That's 1 game at the top of the table, including 2 teams we're seeing today. Welcome to West Beach. It is the Sturt Falcons and the West Torrens Eagles. We're literally seconds away from first pitch. Eric Ballnar joined by Lee Hull. Lee, winner of this game goes top, at least until the next games roll around this afternoon, but it makes for a juicy afternoon matchup here on Saturday afternoon.
It certainly does, Eric, and good afternoon to everybody, and we're about to get cracking.
We'll just jump right into it and waste no time. The woman you see on the mound right now is Millie Fidge. She's pitched 17 innings this season. Zolly Adams has carried the bulk of the workload for Sturt this season. But Millie Fidge looks to be the one that would be tipped to probably be someone that they'd look at going forward, given her 1.24 ERA. But they've got a lot of young arms.
Yes, and I see the normal pitcher who has been, as you mentioned, Zolly Adams, playing at shortstop today in this game.
And they have to do a bit of a reshuffle. The big story for Sturt is they're missing, well, their 2 best players, and we'll say they're 2 best players because they're 2 Team Australia players that are representing their country right now over in Sydney, and Belle White and Maddie Cameron. But Maddie Cameron especially lighting the league on fire this year, but they both lead. They're 1-2 in terms of batting average on Sturt. And Sturt has surprised probably a few teams to be in this position where a win here puts them on top of West Torrens.
Yes, exactly. But I think the turnaround came immediately when Belle White came back and played at the shortstop position and allowed Sarah Tonkin to catch, which she's doing a fine job at. That just gave them probably their best player playing in a position where you need your best people.
Faith Picard leading things off for the West Torrens Eagles. The West Torrens Eagles looked like they would be starting the season off just basically rolling everybody they played. They hit a little bit of a blip in the middle of that, dropping a couple games here and a couple games there, but they're still in pretty solid position, in pole position, in fact, in terms of minor premiership goes. They were the preseason favorites, and not much has really changed at this point in the season, despite it being a logjam at the top, as Faith Picard rockets this over towards right field, but should be easily playable by Ada Caruana. She's one of the most reliable out in the outfield. And Lee, why don't you take us at least how they line up defensively, Sturt?
Sturt, yes, you've mentioned Millie and I mentioned Sarah, so that's the battery. First base is Jenny Gray, second base Rachel Tonkin, on third base it's Jessie Keach, and as I mentioned, it's Zolly Adams at shortstop of the outfield. From left to right, Jordan Lee, Pepper Adkins and Ada Caruana.
Maddie Scott will bat second in the lineup here, someone that's really trying to develop her game as a hitter as well. They're not without a couple key outs from the lineup as well, too, the biggest being Jordan Lambert, also representing Team Australia right now over in Sydney. She's playing at shortstop, and Maddie Scott is the pitcher. She shows bunt, and that goes inside.
Yes, with the 3 previous games between these 2 teams resulted in a West Torrens 10-1 win, the game number 10. Game 21 was West Torrens defeated Sturt 4-3, close go. And then game number 50, 6 games ago, West Torrens 7 defeated Sturt 3.
West Torrens sitting at 22 points on the premiership table. Sturt sitting at 21, 1 point behind, and a great line shot right back to Millie Fidge, who makes the catch. So that's 2 up, 2 down for Millie, and that's a good start there for her.
Great start.
especially important when you take a look at the lineup. Faith Picard leads things off. That's probably a spot normally occupied by Jordan Lambert, so everybody sort of shifts around a little bit. But Faith Picard leads things off. Maddie Scott, who just lined out, batting second. But that middle part of the lineup is scary. You've got Lana Kaesler, Sophie Hoyle, Carly Allen, Kelsey Nucky, and then it's rounded out by Brody Borovnik, Alex Prokopek, and Amy Wheeler. And this is blopped right over behind home plate, right towards the scorers there. They scatter away, and that's the first strike against Lana Kaesler.
Yes, a quality player, Millie Fitch, quality young player, as is Zali Adams. Zali pitched on Wednesday night when they beat beat Hills, 6-5.
And that was a key win for them because it really did close the gap. Had they lost that game, they'd be at 19 points and Hills would be at 14. And all of a sudden, a little bit of a battle would have opened up for the fourth spot. Instead, it's 9 points clear of a final spot with time running out on the season. So right away, Sturt's season opportunity. Game 1 was distance yourself from the pack, and Game 2 is can you go top?
Yes, it's going to go right down the wire, isn't it, this season? That's fantastic. Close games are great.
Top 2 is where you want to finish.
Well, there's already, Eric, been 23 games of the 56 played have been one-run victories.
Which is a pretty high percentage.
That's a high percentage, isn't it, in this sport?
Be interesting to take a look at what it was last year and compare it there, because that was a close season in terms of the standings. At this time last year, we just had no idea about what would happen, and Millie Fitch gets Lana Kaesler to freeze on that one. It's a 1-2-3 start for the youngster, Millie Fitch.
Yes, I don't think Lana was too pleased about the call, but there it is.
Here's how Sturt will bat in order. They are missing their 2 best batting averages. You've got Ada Caruana, Pippa Adkins, Sarah Tonkin, Jenny Gray, followed by Millie Fidge, Rachel Tonkin, and the bottom 3 are Jordan Lee, Zolly Adams, and Jessie Keach. So it's a very young team, but it's a team that's sort of designed, and when you talked to their new coach Morgan Young at the beginning of the year, he said that this would be set up for the second half, about the team trying to get better as the season goes on. Yes,
they reckon they're full of skill, aren't they? A lot of young players, and they're all skillful. Otherwise, they wouldn't be playing A grade. I'll go around the Eagles' defence, if you like, Eric. It's Maddie Scott pitching to Carly Allen. This doesn't change much. Kelsey Nucky's at first, Faith Pickard at second. Third base, Lana Kaesler. Sophie Hall just slips into shortstop, where she's played a lot of softball. And the outfield, Brody Borovnik. Amy Wheeler's at centre field, and it's Alice Prokopek at right field.
Business as usual for Maddie Scott this season. She's pitched 72 1/3 innings. She's got a 1.94 ERA. So she's been exactly as you would expect. She's going to allow a run or 2 every game, but the offense, which has been a bit of a downslide compared to what it was last year, but it's still powerful enough that it's going to get them the win most of the time.
Certainly, certainly. They can all hit hard.
The key for Maddie to watch, especially as we open up the second half for the West Torrens Eagles, is those walks. That's always been sort of her issue, is allowing runners on, those easy walks. But she's had a few games where it's really seemed to cut back this year. She'll start against Ada Caruana.
The umpires in this game, who I'll mention now, on plate it's Michael the Flex Bendall. At first base it's Kevin K.T. Tannebring, and at third base it's Neville the Hoff, Hall of Famer, Lawrence.
And an opposite field single from Ada Caruana gets Sturt aboard.
And that's what happens, Eric, when you throw to a person like Ada or Pippa. You throw it outside, let them free their arms, they'll go deep to the opposite field.
Now, the only issue that Sturt might have is Maddie Cameron. She bats .452 on the year. She's out of the lineup. She's not available for the game. Belle White batting .389. She's not in the lineup today. Ada Caruana batting .364. You saw her get on board with a single. That's followed by Lauren Fleming, who's also not in the lineup today. She's batting .300. The next best batting average from that is Millie Fidge at .235. In fact, only 3 players in the Sturt lineup have a batting average over 200. So some of these girls are going to have to get their wriggle on in terms of the efficiency at the plate.
They're going to have to support the top 4.
Pippa Adkins, the reigning Rookie of the Year. She's someone that's only batting 186, but she's an immense talent, and you feel like she is going to burst out at any second.
Exactly, and the experience she would have gained by playing with the Stars this year. I spoke to her last night up in the hills, and she said that she got more game time than she expected, but she said it was a wonderful learning experience. That's a head screwed on properly, isn't it?
Sturt have played one of the most games in the competition. They've played 16 on the season, I believe. So they played a game more than West Torrens, but so if they lose this game, they'll be at a game and a half back. As Ada Caruana, she's always had some speed. She slides into second. It's a runner in scoring position, so it's pressure on early for the Eagles. Sturt with 7 games remaining in the season. They can win here, or if they lose here, rather, they'll be game and a half back without the tiebreaker with 6 games to go, so it becomes fairly difficult. This is hit hard right back over towards short. It's a nice play from Sophie Hoyle, and that's the first out of the inning.
Heads up base running by Ada Caruana, as you would expect from a person with quick thinker and quick legs. Sophie was looking for her on the double play then, but no, she's back.
Hills, the maximum points they can get is 26, as Maddie Scott will pick this up, throw it over to first. The runner advances to third.
Good hustle from pitcher Scott then. Was well executed bunt.
That'll bring up Jenny Gray. So right now, 26 points is what you need to clinch a playoff spot, and that could be wrapped up really as soon as Wednesday for some teams, because a Hills loss coupled by a win from either Walkerville or West Torrens, and they're in. So finals all but a certainty for the top 4 unless an epic collapse happens, but these games will just determine where they finish, and you want to be in that 1-2 game with the double chance and not that 3-4.
You certainly do, and this girl has impressed us this year, all of us, on the commentary position. She gets hits.
Jenny Gray grounds this over to short. Well played by Sophie Hoyle. That keeps a run off the board. So we're through 1 and there's no score.
And there's a classic case of playing shortstop on this diamond, attacking the ball. Do not let it attack you, otherwise you're going to get a bad bounce. Great play from Sophie.
You can see the replay there of Sophie Hoyle moving in and quickly zipping it over to first. And Sophie Hoyle will be the one leading things off. Now, Lee, when was the last time, I'll put you on the spot here, when was the last time, I actually don't know the answer, but when was the last time there was a champion in this competition that did not play in the 1-2 game? We have to backtrack here. Last year, West Torrens and Walkerville both played in the 1-2 game. Year before that, Sturt, 1-2 game. Year before that, 1-2 game, Sturt. Year before that was Sturt again. They'd won 3 or 4 in a row.
That's a very good question. 3 or 4, I think it was.
It is
a good question.
When was the last time? We'll look around us. The chairman, Jim Manning, sitting next to me on my left here. That's the question for you. That's the homework we got to find. Is who was the last champion that won it from playing the 3rd, 4th game?
Yep.
If it makes you think, it's probably an indication about how important it is to get in that 1-2 game. The road just becomes so much harder, knowing that you really need to win 3 in a row against quality teams to win it, and that's really hard to do. Jim's got a look of perplexion on his face. That's the recipe for success, though.
It's a very interesting question.
Maybe we'll find out for the next broadcast for you. Sophie Hoyle up to bat, made the transfer from the Glenelg Rebels this year. She was on a team that was not in the 1-2 game. A few years ago, she was in the 3-4 game, and they won the 3-4 game, and then they won the preliminary final, only to lose to Sturt in the final with Glenelg.
Yep.
So they were close, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. It doesn't win you a premiership.
Yeah, that's very good, Eric. I must use that sometime when I'm running out of funny things.
That'll be a long time, though. Sophie Hoyle is starting a bit of a move, and that drops in for a strike, and she gets a bit of a smile on her face from that.
Well, she plays women's football as well.
That one framed again, but that time it's a 3-1 count, so it's a hitter's count for Sophie Hoyle. This was the point in the season last year where West Torrens went absolutely crazy. They did not drop a game in 2019 or 18 until that 1-2 game. And this is hit over towards right field, and that drops in, so it's fair. So it's the first hit of the ball game for Sophie Hoyle, and the Eagles have someone aboard.
Well, that's a classic case of Ada playing more into the field of play there because of Sophie Hoyle's
that just
reputation. Yeah, that's right. But because of her reputation, Ada probably thought she's going to go up the middle somewhere. Well, she didn't, and got herself a base hit.
Well, the more you hit in this competition, the more you earn the respect of probably your defensive fielders there.
Yeah, and you do for the pitches, because I think Millie pitched her very carefully, Sophie, until the last pitch.
Carly Allen hitting 214 this year. It's below her regular mark, but as you start playing a few more games in this last half of the season, that's when things are going to pick up, and that's a good bunt. That is in an awkward place. It is barehanded, and Carly Allen is safe. That was a perfectly placed infield bunt that sort of awkwardly fell in position. Take a look at the replay here.
It was a terrific play, wasn't it? It was a push bunt, what we'd call a push bunt. Just pushed the ball into a gap where Jenny Gray, the first base player, and Millie, the pitcher, were unsure whose ball it was.
It was a pretty good scoop, though, with sort of a barehanded play and then a toss to first, just not in time. It was just sort of perfect, I guess, slowness to the ball. Like, it didn't have a whole lot of pace to it, so it was sort of an awkward place and position to get the ball, and Carly Allen was just at first base by the time she really played it.
And you take your weight off your hands when you're holding the bat with those shots, and the ball just drops dead.
Kelsey Nucky hitting 293 this year, and she'll be the first to tell you she's a second half player. Last year, I think she hit 480 in her second half of the season. So
that's fantastic.
She gets better as the season goes on, and now's the time that she can go to work here. Nucky with 8 RBIs this year. It's really well-balanced attack. She's showing bunt again, too. The West Torrens defense, this team doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes. So when they get an opportunity, they usually pounce on it. And we'll see if this is any different here with Millie Fidge, a young pitcher on the mound, trying to navigate her way through with a runner on first and second and nobody out.
Yes, that's been their strength, hasn't it? Their infield very tight.
That one.
Coach Scott playing the percentages here, trying to get these runners on another base.
Takes the bunt out of play, though. It's a 1-2 count.
And the next hitter on deck is Brody Brovnik, the young player who can hit a long ball. Be a handy time.
And all she can do is walk back. That was a good pitch from Millie Fidge. That's the second time there's been a strikeout looking.
From the West Torrens team.
From the West Torrens team, yeah. So it's either a bit of hesitation from West Torrens or Millie Fidge really hitting her spot right there. Brody Borovnik to the plate. Here's someone that's sort of had an increased opportunity this season. She's played in 15 games this year. Progressing up the ranks here with a regular spot on the A-grade side. She's hitting 222. Another promising talent on this Eagles side.
Yes, and she's been given an opportunity this year and grabbed it with both hands.
A chance to inflict some damage here, though. You'd think the big strategy here for West Torrens with a very young defense and their two most experienced defenders out of the game today would just be get the ball in play and try to force the defense to make a mistake.
Yeah, that's it. Play the percentages. She needs to go right side of the diamond if she can, Brody.
The opposite field. And there you go. It's the third strikeout looking for West Torrens today. Millie Fidge putting herself in position to get out of a jam. With her third strikeout of the day, she had Lana Kaesler looking, Kelsey Nucky looking, and then Brody Borovnik looking, and she's gone from first and second with nobody out to first and second, and any out will do. Alice Prokopek comes to the plate.
Yeah, that's incredible. If you'd have said to me that was going to happen, 3 K2s on 3 of their strongest hitters, I would have said you're dreaming. But maybe the break, they haven't had the, continual batting in games, except the ones that played state, of course.
Prokopek swings at the first pitch. And swings through the second as well, too. So Millie Fidge a strike away from getting out of a tough situation.
Tell you what she doesn't need to do here, Alice, is go down looking to make 3 for the innings.
And Alice Prokopek just lobs this one into the outfield.
That's
going to drop. They're sending the runner home. And Alice Prokopek has put the Eagles up 1-0. It wasn't hit hard, but it was hit into a perfect spot.
Certainly was, and Pippa, the centre fielder, Adkins, attacked the ball but just knocked it on a bit. Still wouldn't have got the runner at home, I don't think, because the opening run scored on that play, and now they're threatening again.
Amy Wheeler comes to the plate. That's
been around a long time, but she's done all this junior softball at West Torrens, of course, like a lot of them do. And she's found her way in to the side today.
Big sign from West Torrens if they're getting production from the bottom of their lineup, and that's where the first RBI has come for. And this one is line foul. So a bit of small ball there, 2 strikeouts. Nothing too discouraging, though, from Millie Fidge. It wasn't a hard hit ball. She swings through that, so it's up on 2 strikes.
They want to get out of this, the Falcons. Strike Amy out here and get out of it.
There it is, strikeout number 4 in the game. The first one swinging, so we're through the lineup once, but West Torrens, thanks to Alice Prokopek's RBI, her first RBI of the season, Alice Prokopek, has the Eagles in flight, and they're up 1-0. But how about Millie Fidge? She does strike out the side, and that could have been a whole lot worse with runners on first and second and nobody out. She allows just the 1 run and rings up 3 strikeouts in the process, too.
It was, and it was just a nice little dink of the ball, wasn't it, from Alice? Just a little pop one over the shortstop.
Well, this is the part of the lineup that will certainly be tested. They're all very young, very talented, but just looking for that consistency that sort of comes with experience, and we expect that it will come, but when will it come? Sturt, if they're going to be a contender for a championship, it has to come soon. A win here, like we said, puts them top. A loss here makes it very, very difficult to finish in that top spot in the season.
Yeah, certainly.
So Millie Fidge, Rachel Tonkin, Jordan Lee, Zolly Adams, and Jessie Keach are the next 5 up. And Millie Fidge will lead things off.
Millie can hit the ball. Strong hitter of the ball, strong girl. Great future, Millie.
Hitting .235 this year. Now, Millie missed the first part of the season due to an injury. And Millie will just take. They got a runner on to start the game in Ada Caruana. They got her to second within 3 straight outs from Maddie Scott. Said goodnight on the first pitch, or the first inning of the game.
Showing a lot of patience here, Millie.
West Torrens defense calling for a strike. That just a little bit outside.
Yeah,
so
when your umpiring, once the catcher takes the the ball or drags it across, that tells me as an umpire, when I'm umpiring, that it wasn't a strike.
That one, though, no mistake about that. That's strikeout number 1 for Maddie Scott on the day. Maybe a little too patient for Millie Fidge.
Yes.
Oh, Rachel Tonkin comes to the plate. Trying to find her form. Middle of the season, or middle of the first half of the season, she played B grade for a few games just to get back into that shape, and she's back up with the top squad. One of the key players on this team that they'll need to get rolling to make a push at it.
And she plays well at second base.
She does. She plays very well there.
Quick to get the first to cover on the bunt. It's what you need from your second base player.
Just searching for that hitting consistency. And she chops this one just a bit foul. Well, they all seem to be taking a very patient approach, making Maddie pitch quite a bit here. With that bit of being some...
That's tactic.
Yeah.
I think it's a tactic.
Because normally you see them swing pretty early in counts, this Sturt team.
Yep.
And there's a good crack from Rachel. And just a triple from Tonkin that was just laced between the left and center fielder and got to the wall.
Brody Borovnik was outstretched, running at pace, and just couldn't quite get to it.
So the tie and run not too far away, and Jordan Lee up to bat. And Jordan Lee gives this one a crack. It's a hard hit ball to left field. Borovnik looking for it. It goes over her head. That's going to tie the game up at 1. And now Lee's going to hold up at second. So Jordan Lee comes up with an RBI double and has tied this up at 1.
That does. That does.
So Zolly Adams will step in. She spent her time pitching. So she hasn't even registered a hit yet this season, but it's not really a fair indication. She's only had 4 at-bats this season. So she's getting her first start in a position spot this year, one of the young players as well too, and she's been stable on the mound. She's been the one that's pitched the most. But she has an opportunity to help her team out with the bat here and put them up 2-1. But Rachel Tonkin and Jordy Lee, back-to-back big hits. They were hard hit balls.
They were long shots, weren't they?
Both to left field. And a swing through that one pushes the count to 1-2.
Needs to make an adjustment now, Zali. 2 swings and not near the ball. So here we go, a little bit of an adjustment. Trying to bring this run in.
And a swing and a miss, so it's a strikeout once again from Zolly Adams there, or from, I'm sorry, Zolly Adams not pitching there, from Maddie Scott. That's her second of the inning. At the bottom of the lineup, Jessie Keach.
Nice to see you're only human like the rest of us.
I know.
Sir. Well, Jessie, do you believe she's batting at 9?
Yeah, she's got one of the higher averages of the players active in the lineup today. And you really like Jessie Keach.
Well, I think she's got strength and got game smarts when she's fielding. I also think she's probably the second lead off here by batting 9, you know, before Ada. And
she's got a home run this year, and this one's chopped foul.
Bit of a check swing, and it still went a reasonable distance. I tell you what, that was a long ball from Jordan Lee. My goodness.
So on a team that has Belle White and Maddie Cameron, would you believe that Jessie Keach leads the team in RBIs?
Yeah, well, it's no surprise to me. I think she can hit the long shot. I've seen her hit the fence on the full and a one bounce.
And there it goes. It's driven to left field again, and this goes over Grubnick's head. And Jessie Keach has driven in the go-ahead run. And those are 3 hard-hit balls from the bottom of the lineup, and Sturt are up 2-1.
Well, I hate to repeat myself, Eric, but I will. There's the power of Keach.
It's their 8th RBI of the season. That's team leading. And you said she can drive the ball, and she put it right over the left fielder's head, and that's a 2-1 game. That's some big 2-out hitting as well.
Yep.
Ada Caruana, you know, is a threat as well, too, and probably their best hitter in the lineup today, and she's got a runner on second. But how impressive is that? We talked about it, how the key to success for Sturt was looking for production from the bottom of the lineup, and in the second inning, they've got a triple and 2 doubles and 2 runs. And this is hit over right towards second, an easy play from Faith Picard. But how about the young battery of the Sturt Falcons to put them up here?
Yes, sir. And you add the bottom half of the lineup to the other 2 big guns, White and Cameron, and you've got a team of hitters. They've just got to continue it, don't they? Gets a bit of consistency. Right.
Well, it gives Millie Fidge a little bit of something to work with. The 1 run she did allow was a soft hit over to left field. But it is game on. It is race on at the top of the table here in the A-grade competition here in Adelaide.
Certainly is. Shortly we'll do the Rising Star Junior Player of the Week, Eric, at the end of this innings, I think.
At the end of the 3rd.
End of the 3rd.
That's brought to you by Statewide
Super, one of our great sponsors, along with MC and Bob Burns Bynes and MK Productions, Mike Bendel. Fantastic. We appreciate the help we get from them, because without help, you'd be nowhere. Simple as that.
Faith Picard will lead things off back to the top of the lineup. 1-2-3 in this lineup. Went 1-2-3 in the first inning. Flew out to left, or to right field, sorry, in the first. And Faith Picard cracks this one over to left field, and she hits this hard to the wall. So Faith Picard goes to second, and it's a leadoff double for West Torrens.
What's happening, Eric? What's happening? I think it's a very still day. There's no wind, unlike Wednesday night, and it's just gone, bouncing into the fence.
They're testing the outfielders, and at some point, someone's going to have to come up with an answer, a great diving catch, or a play that you wouldn't expect, and maybe that'll be the difference in the game.
Yes, I'm looking for a diving catch from Keach. I'm predicting one from her.
Over at third.
Next game or 2, I think.
Next game or 2.
Yeah.
We got a bit of leeway there.
Well.
See what I did there? A little leeway?
Yeah, I like that, yeah. Yes, you laugh, because I'm not.
Maddie Scott had a hard hit ball in the first inning, but it went right back to Millie Fidge.
That's very good, Eric. I suppose if you're hanging around with funny people, you'll get funny yourself.
That's why I hang around with people like Jim Manning and James Harris.
I didn't say hilarious, I said funny. Yeah.
Maddie Scott, no, to the plate.
Well, while we're talking about James, he's over in Sydney, and good luck to him. Congratulations. He's doing some commentary over there.
As Maddie Scott lays a bunt down here, and she's going to beat this out. Puts down the bunt, and then hustles down the line, and it's runners on the corner, and for the 2nd straight inning, there's 2 runners on with nobody out. That's a big response from West Torrens.
Certainly is. It's immediate. Straight away, they came back.
Look at the replay.
Great shot.
Thank you, West Torrens.
So
now this
is who you want, though.
Yep, it's the big hitting three: Kaysler, Hoyle, and Allen, and Nucky,
You can't.
and Borovnik.
Do you walk Lana Kaysler to open up any base, or is it just too risky knowing that Sophie's right behind her?
That's right. The hitting's going to keep coming, providing they're in good touch.
And she cracks right
and
at
that's
this
good
one.
touch.
Just a little early. But she ripped that one. She saw it all the way. Good little message, though, to a young pitcher saying, I'm coming right at you.
Ooh, that was traveling. Trying to mix it up there a bit, Millie, just taking a little bit of the pace off it.
Well, it'd be an intimidating batter to go against.
Oh, yeah.
She's won best and fairest before, Lana Kaysler. Pretty consistent member of the Stars team and always seems to be on that team of the year at the end of the season.
Stars, how good was that? The Stars are
Yeah, one of the best performances they've ever had.
46 years since they played in the grand final. South Australian Open Women. Fantastic.
And this one just slips away, and that's going to cost Sturt a run. It slips by, and Faith Picard touches home to tie this one up. And Maddie Scott moves into scoring position. And it's a bit of an arm wrestle right now, and we're back where we're started. We're tied at 2. It's just outside. She was caught looking on that outside corner last time, and that time she is going to take a stroll over to first. So it's runners on first, runners on second. No outs, and Sophie Hoyle to the plate with Carly Allen and Kelsey Nucky due up after.
Yeah, so there's no relief. You can't really walk Hoyle or Allen because there's still Nucky and Borovnik. Well, they've got 3 opportunities here now, the Falcons, with the force to third situation. Maybe the infield fly rule will be invoked in this particular batter's turn.
Well, good to see Millie go right after on that last pitch.
Yep.
And she hits this hard down the line. That goes foul, so at least she's got her to 2 strikes. Battle going on, and you'd expect nothing less at this point in the season.
No, and no half-heartedness with Sophie. It's power or nothing. You'd be half tempted to go a little push bunt again.
And she hits this one hard. This is going over towards center field. Pippa Adkins moves under this. She's going to keep the runner in check, and that's some good defense from Sturt. And that's the first out of the inning.
Well, that'll give Millie and Sarah a lot of heart then.
Carly Allen back to bat. She had that well-placed bunt in the first inning. See if she can get on here. Millie looking back in the groove once again after a brief little blip to start the inning. But that slips away and hits Sarah Tonkin right in the chest, and that's going to advance 2 runners into scoring position. So a huge opportunity for Carly Allen.
Yes, the pressure is on again, or still.
And Allen lifts this over towards center field, and that's going to find a spot in the grass, and that's going to score a run, and West Torrens are back out in front. Carly Allen comes through with her 5th RBI of the season. And it is a 3-2 game.
It's a bit similar shot to what Alice did in the first innings, just over the top of Zali.
Runners on the corner for Nucky, and she laces this one over towards left field. That's over Jordan Lee's head. That scores run. And Carly Allen going to be pushed around third. She's going to make a play for home, and it's a 2 RBI double for Nucky. It's raining, it's pouring. West Torrens is scoring, and it's 4 runs in the inning, and it's a 5-2 lead.
Gee, some power hitting here today. Gee.
Kelsey Nucky gets her 9th and 10th RBI on the season right there. That puts her at equal top of the leaderboard for West Torrens. And with 1 out still on the board and a runner in scoring position, West Torrens offense has just flicked the switch like this. We've seen this time and time again this season. Just a big inning from West Torrens propels them to victory. You have to be able to limit the damage when you're playing this team, and if you can't do it, something like this is going to happen.
That's right, and it's just like they switched the switch, didn't they? Went down looking 3 times, K2s, and then all of a sudden, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, they learned a lot the second time through. Just in the 3rd inning now, all the first 6 batters in the lineup have at least got on once. Batters 7, 8, and 9 have only been to plate once, but they seem to be doing some damage on Millie Fidge the second time through the lineup. And this is going opposite field, but it goes right to Ada Caruana in right, and that is the 2nd out of the inning.
Well struck there, wasn't it?
Well, Alice Prokopek had 2 outs the last time she was up, and she lifted one into a little gap just outside of the infield and drove in the first run of the game. Prokopek hits this hard, and that one just goes foul as well. And she swings through this one, so that puts it up to 2 strikes, but still 2 outs. West Torrens already have piled on 4 here in the top of the 3rd. Usually a good recipe for success, especially with the pitcher that they've got going on their own side. And Prokopek pushes this one up the center again. It's going to be a close play. Prokopek hustling for first, and she's just gone. How close was that? Zolly Adams got it over in time. We'll get a replay look on this one. And tough to tell on that angle right there. Didn't quite get the runner going in there, but it was a close play. But that'll retire it. But to recap that inning, a double from Faith Picard, a single from Maddie Scott. Later driven in from an RBI from Carly Allen, and then a bases clearing RBI double that scored 2 from Kelsey Nucky. And in a blink of the eye, that was all she wrote for West Torrens that inning, and it's a 5-2 game. Well, we head to the bottom of the 3rd, and it's going to need a big response here from the middle of the lineup here for Sturt.
Yes, and on behalf of statewide super at the end of this innings, the even innings. I'll be presenting the Junior Player of the Week.
And we can't wait to find out who won that.
No, me neither.
Only 3 outs away. Pippa Adkins leads things off, and she rips one right to Kelsey Nucky. What a play. That's not getting by her, and that's the first out of the inning. Take a look at this. Just a line shot, a hard hit ball, and Kelsey was ready for that.
And that's the cruelty in this game, isn't it? You can belt one like that and get out, and then you can miss hit one and get safe or nearly safe.
Sarah Tonkin was the best and fairest in the Sturt Club last year. She played mostly at third base. This year she's started the year off catching a lot, and even Belle White as well too has been playing in the field. Hasn't been catching as much this year, so Sarah's been really her role this year.
Yeah, like Jessie Keach, she's a strong hitter of the ball, so when she hits it, it stays hit.
That one had a bit of zip on it, but it is a ball. Reaching the halfway point of this 90-minute time game. West Torrens holding a 3-run lead thanks to a 4-run top of the third. And this is lifted out towards right field. Alice Prokopek moves in and grabs this one. So it's a quick 1-2 outs, which means we're 1 out away from finding out who the statewide Super Junior Player of the Week will be.
Well, it started on Wednesday night, and it was Joe Liddell who was the statewide senior.
And I think we've got, don't we have an interview as well?
Yeah, we did have an interview, and we're going to have an interview with this young lady.
In a moment's time. We'll pass over the headset then, and 1 out. Can't even wait. Jenny Gray up to bat right now. You figure back in the day, if this award was going out, she would have won a couple statewide Super Junior Players of the Week.
I think it's a great initiative. Started by Mr. Harris himself, James. He puts a lot of time and effort into this sport, and he should be rewarded for it.
Popped up foul, so it remains an 0-2 count. Drop down low, so Jenny trying to work herself back in the at-bat, staying patient. Still early in the ball game. They have 45 minutes to chase down this run total. And she swings at that one. That's going to be a tough play, and that's going to find the outfield. So one scoots through the West Torrens infield, and Jenny Gray's aboard with a single. Millie Fitch can help her own cause here, the starting pitcher, by bringing her around the bases. This is hit hard. This one just chopped over towards the baseball diamond, foul. And Fitch chops this foul back towards the Andrew Scott dugout on the baseball field. His daughter, Maddie Scott, on the mound. And if you just take a walk a couple 100 meters down the right field line here on this diamond, you get to Fidge Field. So yes, it's a namesake battle at the mound and the dish right now.
And on the other side of the diamond, the baseball diamond, is the Prokopek, Luke Prokopek. Familiar name too.
The name's littered all over this game.
Well, it's fantastic though, isn't it? It's just recognising their contribution to our sports.
And this is lined over towards second, and what a great play from Faith Picard. what that inning could have been. If you look at this, Lee, it was a line shot over to first from Pippa Adkins that Kelsey Nucky took away, and Millie Fidge robbed of a hit here. So what could have been 2 or 3 runs across the board is a clean inning. So we are through 3, and West Torrens have a 3-run lead. And Lee, I will pass it over to you. It's time for the statewide Super Junior Player of the Week.
Thank you, Eric. And we'll just get her in here, get her mic'd up. She's looking a bit nervous, but she has no reason to be. Sit down, come and join me. There we go. How'd it go? Well, the statewide Super Player of the Week, Junior Player of the Week from West Torrens Club, I welcome Keely Shido. Hi, Keely.
Hi.
How you going?
I'm good, thank you.
I've seen your mum play. I've seen you play a bit, dude. Now, going to emulate your mum? Hopefully?
Yeah.
Well, it's in the genes, they say. So, tell us a bit about yourself. Which club do you play for? It's obvious.
Yeah, West Torrens.
Yeah. And what grade?
Under 13s.
Okay. Favourite player?
Geordie Lambert, Lana Kaysler and Carly Allen.
That sounds like 3 to me. That's 3 excellent choices. The position you play, first base, is it?
Catcher.
Catcher. Oh, okay. You like it?
Yeah, love it.
Okay, not scared?
Nah.
You look scared when you come in here to sit down with me. What's the difference?
Don't like talking.
Me too. Okay, what's your favourite thing about softball?
I like that it's a team sport and that you work together and the skill level involved.
Yeah, excellent answer. You were nominated by your club, West Torrens, as their best junior because you play under 13 and fill in for under 15 when required. You're often seen out watching and learning from the senior games. Every training night, you and your mother, Kia, have club dinners, and you help out with anything without hesitation. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's fantastic. Okay, so it's now up to me. It's with my great pleasure I present this week's statewide Super Certificate to Keely Shido from the West Torrens Club. May your softball future flourish, Keely. I know your club is proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Want to say anything?
Not really.
Just goodbye.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Well done. Good girl.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Well, well done to Keely, a statewide Super Junior Player of the Week. A big honor, something that
Well,
Lee, you could only dream of winning.
Of course, but it's a nice touch, isn't it, really? It's a nice touch, isn't it? Little recognition, like Joe Liddell. Joe Liddell does a lot for softball, especially in the hills on Wednesday, and we'll have a new one on next Wednesday.
Well, Amy Wheeler, in the space of that, looped one over towards left field, and she's aboard with a single. So Faith Picard, who had a big booming double the last time she was up to bat. Faith Picard having another excellent season. She's batting .333. She missed the first half of last year, and since then she has really picked it up with the bat especially. That's a whole other element to the lineup.
Quality player, Faith.
And already West Torrens going right back at him.
Yes, it doesn't, that's the Eagles, isn't it, for you? You know, once they've got the sniff, they're at you.
This one just slips away, and that's going to be a free base for Amy Wheeler. Well, you can probably amount to wins and losses in this game by taking a look at the number of free bases that are given.
Yes, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? And just saying, just
pass balls, errors,
yeah.
Stolen bases on one of them, how many free bases you can take as well, too. And if you're in the positive side of things, you're probably going to win that ball game. If you are in the negative, things probably aren't going to work out the best for you. You can put walks in those free bases as well, too, as that's what Faith Picard does.
What do they say? From little things, big things happen?
From little things, big things happen, exactly. And those are all those little things that make those big differences. And West Torrens, over the last 2 seasons especially, has really been the best at that. They don't make a lot of mistakes defensively, and they take a lot. They don't give much, and they take away a lot. They're a very relentless team to play against, and for the 3rd straight inning, it's runners on 2 bases with nobody out. That makes life very hard for a defense. Maddie Scott had a single that advanced a runner to 3rd last time, and she's going to try to lay down the bunt, playing a bit of small ball here. We'll see if they go back to that as well. They've done it on 2 strikes or 1 strike before to get it to the 2.
Yes, I'd like to make a correction too, Eric. It's MK Services SA with Mike Bendel. So that's the correction. I think I said something else.
It drops in for a ball.
But thanks to the scorer supreme, Ms. Lindy Radigan, she's put me right on the right track.
Maddie Scott trying to add to this lead here and start to really make it untouchable. She goes right through that one and she's out. Nope, just a strike. I'm lied. I'd like to make a correction, Lee.
Noted.
It's not an out. Maddie Scott, we'll see what she can do here. Just take a running swing at that. Now, what's the difference between running through them? What's happening there when they're standing and swinging versus that little running slap sort of hit there? What's the difference?
Well, you've got the momentum up when you're doing the running. The main thing is you make contact. Otherwise, you finish halfway to first and the ball's in the catcher's glove.
Now, it's something you would never see. You don't think you really can do it. You can't in baseball, but like, what is the difference in that sort of approach, and why would you do that versus not?
Just get the ball on the deck, and a natural right-hander batting left-hander, close to the first base, got leg speed. That's usually the people that do it or attempt to do it. She's getting the money's worth here, Maddie.
It's a good battle, and it's a full count, and she keeps this foul.
And it continues.
The Scott Fidge battle, they had a good one with Maddie pitching and Millie batting that last half inning, and now the tables have turned.
She's getting a solid workout, Millie, and she pitching.
Maddie too.
Game. Both Maddies.
And she'll walk, and the bases are loaded.
Back-to-back base on balls. I think there's going to be a change. I think Zali is maybe coming in, I'm thinking.
So Morgan Young will come for a visit with the pitcher and make a decision here. Have a chat with his catcher, Sarah Tonkin. What kind of conversations he having here?
Just take it easy, settle down. Perhaps he's saying to Sarah, what are you calling on those? And no change. So that's good, putting faith in your young pitcher. They've just come up with some big shots, haven't they, the Eagles?
This is a big moment in the game. You got bases loaded. It's a 5-2 game. We're approaching the hour mark, and there's really going to be running out of time from there.
And it's batters 3, 4, and 5, as we mentioned in the previous innings.
Lana Kaesler, she's 0 for 1 with a walk, but she has scored in this game. She's very patient. We'll see if she finally attacks on this at-bat here with the loaded bags.
Oh, she attacks. Jordan Lee at left field is going to be in the action.
And she cracks at this one. She was going for it there. It's going foul. Jordan Lee gave it a spirited rundown, but it'll just be a loud strike.
Lucky, I think, for the Falcons, that wasn't flat, that ball.
Well, a chance to bust it open. Swings through that one, and that's a big strike.
Excellent pitch, excellent choice of pitch then, Millie.
So it puts her at 1-2. If she can just get this one out, it just opens up a few possibilities. Any bag will do. If it's a ground ball, you'd think it's going home. Amy Wheeler does have, as her name would suggest, wheels over at third. And it's a ground over, and she's out. It's a double play. Can you believe that?
I can. What a peach from Jessie Keach. I tell you, it looked to be out of her reach, but she hung on to it like a leech. I tell you, it's something you can't teach here at West Beach.
Wow. That was incredible, both from Jessie Keach and from you, Lee. But that was an amazing play from Jessie Keach. Here's a take a look at it again here. Bases loaded. It's a line shot over at third, and what a dive over to third to get out the lead runner, Amy Wheeler. So now you go from bases loaded and no out to runners on first and second with 2. One swing away from effectively putting that nail in the coffin to a ball game to now just an out away from giving your team a real jolt of energy and putting yourself right back in it. Sophie Hoyle, though, cracks at this one. This is going to right field. They are going to try to push the runner around. Play at the plate, and she's safe. Sophie Hoyle drives in a run with a single to right. Faith Picard scores her for her second straight inning, and it's 6-2. But it shows how important that last play was, because that would have scored a couple.
Yes, it's a similar shot from Sophie's first shot, wasn't it? Landed near the line.
9th RBI of the year for Sophie Hoyle. And I'll bring up Carly Allen. She's got a ribby today as well, too. 6-2 game, runner on first, and a runner on third. Still in reach, though, and it's only a 4-run game. And she chops this foul.
Oh, just nibbling away, wasn't it?
Well, it's a 3-1 count. And she's dangerously close to walking the bases loaded for Kelsey Nucky, who already has that RBI double.
And we saw what she did the last time at bat, so they're not going to walk Carly, not deliberately.
And she's going to float this to right field. Caruana moves under it.
Good pitch.
Well, it could have been worse. They had bases loaded and nobody out, and they just allowed the 1 run thanks to a great play from Jessie Keach. And it is 6-2 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. But we are reaching the part of the lineup that did the damage with Rachel Tonkin, Jordan Lee, and Jessie Keach. Those 3 are the direct contributors to why Sturt took a momentary lead.
Well, they'll be looking for a repeat performance, won't they? Yeah.
Well, West Torrens defense having a bit of a consult as well. Might be waiting for a catcher.
And an umpire. Apart from that, we're ready to go.
And here comes Carly. Well, the story in this one is it started off as a bit of an arm wrestle. West Torrens struck first in the top of the second with an Alice Prokopek RBI single, but 2 runs from the bottom of the lineup in the bottom of the second made it a 2-1 game, and immediately following was 4 runs in the top of the third. So 3 straight half innings, whereas most of the runs came from, to make it 5-2, and West Torrens just scored another run in the last half to make it 6. Rachel Tonkin had a triple. She's up to bat now.
Well, it's within reach, Eric. String a couple of hits together.
That slips away as well, too. Well, it has been a very patient approach from Sturt all game, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's obvious, make the pitcher, Maddie Scott, throw as many pitches as you can.
And Tonkin hits this opposite field. Will this find a gap? Alice Prokopek runs and grabs this one. So a well-hit ball opposite field. Good signs from Rachel Tonkin this game, both defensively and with the bat. But that is an out, and it's the first one down. So Maddie Scott has retired 4 of her last 5 batters. And one was just a slow roller into the outfield from Jenny Gray. So Jordan Lee, she had a big double. She's up to bat. And just watches that right down Main Street.
Yeah, well, she'll be looking to get Jordan out, and then she gets batters 8 and 9. Although Jessie's the one at 9.
She's the hot bat right now.
Yep.
Rolled down foul, so she's quickly ahead 0-2. Again, drops down. Staying patient. They haven't really diverged from their game plan at all.
No. That was a good pitch. Took a little bit of the pace of it. It had a bit of an arc to it, and just got the end of the bat from Jordan. Selecting the right pitch to hit. That's the name of the game here, isn't it?
And here's a pitch, and this one gets through 1 and 2 West Torrens Eagles defenders through Kaesler, through Hoyle, and through to first base is Jordan Lee. So she's aboard for the 2nd time today.
Now, what are they going to do here? They wouldn't go bunt, would they, chasing 4? You wouldn't think. She's got wheels, Jordan. She can run, so Sophie Hall adjusts her fielding position because of this.
Just her 6th at-bat of the season, Zolly.
The thing is, when you adjust your fielding position, like in Hoyle, it leaves an even bigger gap between third base fielder and her.
And Zolly rolls this right to Hoyle. There's one. Throw to first, and they're not going to get the second. It was a little wayward throw, and Zolly Adams would have made it anyway. So a fielder's choice, and Jordan Lee is retired, but Zolly Adams will go over towards first. So Jessie Keach, she's got an RBI double already today. She's had that great catch, which saved a few runs, and was the double play. It's probably the most impressive player of the game. She is on the losing side of things right now in a 6-2 game here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And this is hit over towards the outfield. Who wants it? Alice Prokopek calls him off and makes a great catch. That's the way to take charge. Prokopek's had a very nice game defensively, and she had that RBI as well in the first. But we are through 4, and it's a 4-run lead.
It's great play from Alice. She's looked really the goods out there today.
That's just one where someone has to take it and take control, and that's what Prokopek did.
Well, that's the name of the game. You infield, you keep going back until you're overcalled. Because they're coming in, and it's a lot easier. It's Stranglove, isn't it? I think so. Is it? Is it? 19.
Yeah, so Jazz Strandland's into the game.
Jazz Strandland, yeah.
The Canadian, first game back in Australia, we're told here. So a pitching change as Millie Fidge goes through 4 innings. It is a 6-2 game. So we'll see what Jazz Strandland can do.
Well, like it was in Sturt's last innings with the bat, it's batters 6, 7, 8, and 9. Nucky, Borovnik, Prokopek, and Wheeler. Good start for Jazz, but Kelsey, knowing Kelsey Nucky like I do, she'll be wanting to get another big shot. It's not. Good start for Strangland.
Alice Prokopek will step up. Oh no, where am I here? That was Kelsey Nucky already. So now Brody Borovnik, sorry, will step up. Then Alice Prokopek. This is hit hard, but foul. Brody Borovnik 0 for 2, but she had that one good shot to left that was just caught out.
She's a steady pitcher, Jasmine. We saw her, seen her before, and is helping out the cause.
And this is hit hard once again, but just lined right towards Jordan Lee, and not much you can do about that. Alice Prokopek now 1 for 2 in the game. It was out 6-3 in a very close play. She's been very good, Alice, all day. This has been the most straightforward inning since the first, really. And Alice Prokopek grounds this to Rachel Tonkin. It's a 1-2-3 inning. That's the first time since inning number 1 we've had a 1-2-3 inning. All the other ones in between, there was a runner on at least first and second, once first and third, with no outs.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And that resulted in runs every inning, so it makes it a lot easier.
It's interesting. That's what happened on Wednesday night's game. 3 runs each in the first innings, then the runs dried up. It's been happening a bit this season, Eric.
So we'll head to the bottom of the 5th. You'd think this game really only has 6 innings in it. We will be pushed up against the time shortly, unless this is a long inning. Then Sturt could be in trouble. There's no new innings after 85 minutes, and that clock is not official, but it's pretty accurate that you'll see on your screen in a short minute or so. Well, we'll go back to the top of the lineup with Ada Caruana. So you see that right there. So you'd think we'd pretty safely get through this half inning, but you'd think that 6 is probably all that we're going to be able to squeeze in today. So It really gives 6 outs, if you play it by that way, for Sturt to chase down 4 runs.
Yeah, well, they're starting with the top of the lineup, so here's the chance.
And we're right here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Hit it Caruana. 1 for 2 on the day. She got on to start the game to put a little bit of pressure, but they couldn't bring her around. She got all the way to second. She's had a couple nice defensive plays. If she can get going here, believe it or not, it's the top half of the lineup that's had struggles. 7 hits today, 6 hits today for Sturt, and 4 of them have come from the bottom half.
Good signs, isn't it, for finals? Need to get a couple on, don't they? 2 on in this innings early and see what happens then. Perhaps come up with a long shot from the middle.
Drop down low once again.
Hard batter to pitch to.
Again, staying patient.
Yeah, you throw it outside and she goes over shortstop's head at a rate of knots. Throw it inside and then she puts it on the deck and you've got to be quick to run her out. And that's why people like her statue bat #1, like Jordan Lambert. There's plenty of others too.
Well, she gives this one a crack. Who wants this? Brody Borovnik charging in, makes the catch. Well, it's the first out down. He's got a little less nervy. You figure we're at 5 outs, 4 runs to chase. Once you start getting into that out per run territory, it gets dire.
Yes, the odds shorten dramatically.
Pippa Atkins. She's 0 for 2 today, and this is rolled over towards second, and Faith Picard, easy throw to first. That's 2 outs. There hasn't been more than 5 batters to appear in an inning for West, or for Sturt this year, or this game. Whereas West Torrens have had some prolonged periods of batting, and that shows why the difference in the score.
Yep.
And some pretty solid defense both sides, but West Torrens don't make too many mistakes. Sarah Tonkin batting, she's 0 for 2 as well. And she's going to put this high in the air. Sophie Hoyle calls everybody off, and it's a 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah, she got caught in no man's land then, Sarah, because it was a high pitch, and then she went for it, and it just stayed high. Easy for Hoyle.
3 up, 3 down on both sides of things, so we're in the 6th inning, which, well, that was a quick inning. I guess it is possible we could get through 7 today, but it's going to be right up against the time. 75 minutes through. Amy Wheeler will lead things off, and that'll be a key out for Sturt defensively, knowing that you've got that top of the lineup, which has just inflicted a lot of damage. All 6 of the runs have been scored from those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 batters. Driven in by some down the lineup, but scored by those top 5.
It's Amy Wheeler leading us off, and we're back at the top. with Faith Pickard's had a good game. Faith, very reliable at second, hasn't she been?
Yeah, she'll be in the conversation. She scored twice as well, too, with an RBI, or yeah, no RBIs, but she's had a double. She scored twice. She's been good at second base. She'll be in the conversation for the statewide super player of the game. Amy Wheeler leads things off with a crack over towards center field, and that's a nice catch from Pippa Adkins. And what seemed to be a bit of an offensive slugfest, the last 8 batters have now been retired in this ball game combined.
It's continuing, isn't it? Hard shots, you can tell by the sound, can't you? Don't need to look up, you know it's going deep.
1, 2, 3 innings across the board, the last one, and a lead off here. You include the fielder's choice, I guess it's 9.
This girl's a good lead off when Jordan's not here because she's patient. Chooses the right pitch to swing at.
1 for 2 with a walk and 2 runs. Swings at that one, chop foul.
I can't say I've seen Faith swing at anything that isn't a strike or close to a strike.
And a swing and a miss, there you go. You spoke too soon, Lee.
I did, didn't I?
All of a sudden, it's a pitcher's clinic. Jazz Strandland's entered the ballgame and retired the first 5 she's faced. Maddie Scott again 1 for 2. She's got a walk as well. She also had that hard shot right back towards the line. She's had a solid game pitching. Hasn't been flashy, but she's only allowed the 2 runs and a little bit of a rough patch in the second inning. But she's hit, she's scored, and she's pitched pretty well as well.
Yeah, and 2 runs is not a lot of runs over an hour and a half nearly.
No, it's exactly what you'd expect from Maddie Scott. Right around that ERA of 2.
That's a great ERA. I tell you, if you continue that, the finals are going to be so exciting.
Right in line with what she did last year, so it's certainly not a fluke. 3-0 count, though. And there's the first strike. Batting from this side of the plate all game. Well, there you go. Jazz Strandland's responding with 2 strikes after going behind 3-0. And she's a strike away here on a full count from another 1, 2, 3 inning.
She won't go down looking.
Maybe another she will.
Gee, what's going on here?
West Torrens batters have struck out looking 5 times. Oh no, she struck out swinging the last 4 or 5 times today.
Maybe by me speaking about that, I'll get sowed the seed because that's happened twice now, 2 batters.
Well, we head to the bottom of what would likely be the last. It's about 5 minutes left. Unless it's a very, very quick 1, 2, 3 inning, we will not play a 7th in this one. But regardless, it'll take a Sturt bottom of something to put up a pile of runs. So if they put up a pile of runs here, that will be it. If they go down quickly, 1, 2, 3, well then they'll be relying on having to do it in the 7th. So you may as well just get to work here and take the game on.
Yep. Give it your best shot. Last roll of the dice.
As we mentioned earlier, at this moment, 4 teams are within 2 points of each other at the top of the table. West Torrens and Walkerville sitting at 22. Sturt sitting at 21, or sitting not far behind at 20 is Port Adelaide, but Port have stumbled. They started off 9-0, but they've lost 5 of their last 6, so they'll be looking for some sort of rhythm coming into this year to keep this race going.
There's a change to the lineup here. Hitting wide is Chloe Charlton, stepping in for Jenny Gray here. And then it's Millie Fidge and Rachel Tonkin at this stage.
What do we know about Chloe?
Chloe can run. She's got huge wheels and can hit the ball deep.
So that unofficial clock right here is sitting at 81 minutes. 85 is when we can't have any more new innings. So Sturt up against it. It'll be Charlton, then Jazz Strandland will have her first at-bat of the game. So a different look from what Maddie Scott has faced today. And a bunt is laid down. We're going to test that speed right now. Nucky over to first base, Picard easily handled. So there's the first out, and they're down to 2. Strandland swings at the first pitch. It's cracked towards center field, and that clears Amy Wheeler. Jazz Strandland steps into second, and a runner in scoring position for the Falcons. Welcome back, Jazz.
Well, she's had an immediate effect on the game, hasn't she, with her pitching, and now that hit, that was a long ball.
6 up, 6 down, and now she's 1 for 1 with a double. And I think we have another change.
Changes to Sturt. 4 out.
Rachel Tonkin, who's 1 for 2 with a triple and a run, and she's also had that big shot to right field. She's subbed out.
This is Zoe Young, I believe.
Zoe Young will pinch it for Rachel Tonkin. Jordan Lee, who's 2 for 2, is on deck. You surprised that they're pinch hitting someone that's hitting the ball pretty well today? Or is it just because they're down 4 runs, it's late, and they're trying to get some game time?
Maybe.
You can almost certainly say there won't be a new inning now, with only 90 seconds to that mark. And this is chopped down the line. It goes foul, so it's a good battle here, showing some fight, Zoe Young.
Yes, the daughter of our Stars coach, Morgan Young.
And a big strikeout from Maddie Scott. So Jordan Lee, no? Another change, I think.
Indigo back to silver, it looks like.
So 4 pinch hitters. 4 new batters, I should say, in this inning.
I think if I was Jordan Lee, I'd feel a bit darker here. Going for 2 long bombs. Yep. This girl, excellent catcher, Eric. Young catcher.
And she swings at this one. It's in the air. Nucky grabs it, catches it, and we'll wait for the call. And that's the game. So the big difference in this one, a 4-run 3rd inning from West Torrens. They use a big inning, and would you know it, Lee, they win by 4 runs. And it was a pretty balanced attack, top and bottom in the lineup.
Yes, and as we said before, Eric, that teams this year seem to be getting runs, a poultice of runs early, and then the game just goes along, and that's what's happened here.
8 of the 9 batters in the starting lineup had hits. It just really shows how deep they are.
So have you found somebody as the best player?
Yeah, it's really tough to go there. I mean, Faith Picard, she had an excellent ball game. You know, she was on base twice and she scored. I mean, the real big difference probably was Kelsey Nucky with that clearing double as well, too. Lee, who would you be looking at?
Toss-up. It's a toss-up. It's toss a coin, mate, I think.
Between who?
Between those 2.
Should we just grab a coin out right now? Let's do it for the statewide super player of the game.
Well, you've never shouted anything, so I guess you haven't got any coins.
I don't think I do have it. You're actually right about that. I don't know if I have a coin, but I legitimately need to find a coin here so we can name a statewide super player of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. All my loose coins should call statewide super for that.
While we're talking about statewide super, great to have them on board, isn't it? Really,
Yeah.
we really appreciate their help.
We do. Well, Lee, thank you very much for letting me back in the broadcast booth once again. West Torrens wins 6-2. Any final thoughts from the game?
No, except that it just sort of petered out, didn't it? As I said, a few runs both sides early and then just went along. But some big shots, wasn't there? Some big shots. 6 or 7 at least big shots in this game.
Well, Lee, that'll be us signing off. Thanks to Spacequake Sports for the production, and thank you very much to Statewide Super for bringing you softball action all season long. Back to the top of the table with the West Torrens Eagles. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody.
Great pass. What a catch!
My
What
goodness.
an amazing catch from Vicky McFarlane.
Highlight reel. Never say yes to the jest. That was fantastic. Sarah Talkin making a push for home. Misses 400 herself. 13 strikeouts for Gabby Snyder and one of the best pitching performances we've seen this season. What a fantastic grab by Emma Burridge. Climbs the ladder and breaks it down. Atkins grounds this up the middle. That's going to score a run. Bruin score 2. Deep to left field. This is back and